Hey, what up everyone? Jerky Jones here. Today I'm going to tell you a little story about how I pranked a coworker a few years ago and how it went horribly wrong. You're going to want to watch this one. So, I was 28 years old, so this was like 8 years ago now. Wow, time flies. And I was living in a small town, real small town, 6,000 population, and I was looking for a job, and I saw online a job for a HVAC apprentice. So installing home heating systems, furnaces, air conditioning units, stuff like that. I thought it was going to be a great opportunity. You know, I went for the interview, nailed it, whatever. They hired me. It was a real small company in a small town. It was only 3 guys, the owner, and he had these 2 coworker guys, like his, main guys, and they were both in their 50s. And then there was me. And I didn't have any experience. I told them this. They're like, "Yeah, we'll train you, whatever." So I'm like, "Okay, sweet." So I worked with them for, it was about 3 or 4 weeks, and it was whatever. It wasn't really that great. They weren't really teaching me much. The 2 guys and the owner were not in the mood to teach anyone. I later found out that this company had gone through like 12 or 14 people in the last couple of years, so the turnover rate was high, which I can understand why. When I started, they're like, "Oh, ask lots of questions, learn this, how it works, blah, blah." So I'm like, okay. So I would ask the one guy the questions and he would never answer. He was a bit of a dick, to be honest. Like, he was always grumpy and he never would explain things, or he'd explain it very briefly and without really telling me much. And I'd be like, okay, I still don't understand. Like, can you elaborate a bit more? He was an ass. And then the other guy was more like a friend of the owner, and he didn't really know much. I would ask him questions, and he was only doing basic stuff like that I would do. So things they would have me do were like digging trenches to put pipes in, cutting sheet metal for the vent systems, cutting in holes in the wall, whatever. But they weren't teaching me any of the good stuff, like the stuff with the gas, or how to install anything, or how to set up piping, or how the systems worked, or whatever, right? So anyways, I was going through the motions. I was showing up every day. It was all fine, I guess. It was whatever. And so yeah, anyway, so like 4 weeks in, it's whatever. I'm working away, and so the one guy I worked with, the not the angry asshole guy, but the other guy who was, had been there for years, but was only doing basic stuff as well. Like, they would always tease him because he was in a battle for child support. He owed all this money to, in Ontario, there's a thing called FRO. It's called the Family Responsibility Office. It's like, where moms that want to get payment for their children, they contact FRO, and FRO goes after you, and they, withhold your checks or deduct your pay or put legal action on you or whatever, so that you pay, when you have a kid and you owe money. So they would always tease him about FRO, and they would always tease him because he had they wouldn't tease him, but they would mention, that he had a bad heart. His dad died of a heart problem. His brother died from a heart attack. His grandpa, he had a bad heart. It ran in his family. So anyways, okay, I'm sorry, this is gonna make me look bad, but hey, I'm Jerky Jones. It is what it is. That's what I do. So anyways, all right, so one day, we're about 4 weeks in, I'm working with this guy. I've only been there about a month, and one day the owner was like, "Oh, I need you to text," the guy's name was Kevin. They're like, "Oh, I need you to text Kevin, tell him to meet you at this place, blah, blah, blah." And they gave me his phone number. And Kevin didn't know what my phone number was. So, me being Jerky Jones, what I did was I texted Kevin, and I said, "Hey, I said, hello, sir, this is Janet Bailey from Fro office. Upon reviewing your case, we have realized that an error was made and you are still owing of $7,534.58 to your wife, or to your ex-wife, and I knew her name. I can't remember now, something Janet or whatever. So I said, to your wife, Janet. And I said, these reparations will be needed to pay immediately, or else legal action will be taken, right? I mean, like, so I sent it to him because I was like, oh, he doesn't know my phone number, so he's gonna think it's for Fro. So I texted him it, right? And I waited like a couple minutes, and here I am, like, hee, laughing away, and so he texts back, he's like, what, are you serious, really, oh my god, blah blah blah. And then I texted him again, I said, ha, just kidding, gotcha, it's me, Simon. The boss said to me that this place in an hour, blah blah blah, right? Whatever. So the day went on, whatever, I met up with him, and then I ended up the day. Then the next day I come into work, and the boss lost it on me. He fucking flipped. He was like swearing at me, and he's like, that's not fucking funny, you know Kevin has a bad heart, you almost gave him a heart attack, that's not fucking cool, man, blah blah blah, I should have your ass for this, that is so unprofessional, I can't believe you would do that, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, man, I'm so sorry. He's like, you should be sorry. And he was swearing and all this, and I get it, you know, I get it. Like, I think he went a little bit overboard, like, it was a fucking joke, you know, whatever, but okay. Anyway, so he flipped out. The rest of the day was really awkward. Like, I worked the day and none of them were talking to me. I would ask them like, hey, what do you want me to do next? They wouldn't say anything. I was like, oh, this ain't good. So I just, you know, went through the motions of the day. Really sucked. Next day I went again to work. Same thing. No one was really talking to me much. The boss was all real weird and quiet, and it was a super awkward environment. It sucked. So the day after that, I just called in. I said, hey, thanks for the opportunity, I'm quitting, blah blah blah. I talked to his wife, you know, secretary, and thank you, it won't be showing up anymore, blah blah. She's like, okay, thanks, whatever. But anyways, just, that's how the innocent little prank, just a little prank, what? No, but nobody's got a sense of humor anymore. That's how it went horribly wrong for me. You know, maybe if it was a bigger business, more professional. I mean, there's no excuse. I shouldn't have done it, really. I was young. Well, in fact, I wasn't that young. I was 28 years old, but I was obviously dumb. But I also really didn't care because I could tell the job wasn't going places. I wasn't really into it. It wasn't a great work environment. I wasn't being helped. I wasn't being taught properly, you know. They should have just hired someone that knew, you know. They said apprentice, but they were always complaining like, oh, we need someone that actually knows what they're doing before we hire them, blah blah blah. So that made me feel real great, you know, hearing that when I'm trying to work and learn. But anyway, so whatever. That's probably why I did the joke, because I was like, I don't give a fuck, whatever, let's have some fun. So yeah, anyways, that is my story of how the prank went horribly wrong. Let it be a lesson. You know, if you're in a good job that you like, don't do something like that. If you're about to quit and you don't give a fuck, go for it. If you don't like the person or whatever, who cares? Have a little fun. Frig, I should have recorded it. I should have made a video about it. But anyways, I'm making it now. So anyways, folks, that is my story. I hope you like it. I thought it was funny. I still do think it's funny. It is what it is. You live, you learn, you know. Again, I'm Jerky Jones. That's how I roll, baby. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great morning. Have a great fucking life. I love y'all. You're the best. You're watching these videos, you're the best ever. Anyways, peace out, folks. Take her easy. Peace.